Adapting to the stage of life that you are in. And we're all in a different one, all of us. But for some reason today, you clicked on this video. Of all the videos that you could have possibly clicked on, you clicked on this one. And funny enough, I myself am in a stage of life that is different than the ones I had experienced prior. Before, the stage of life that I was in was very tumultuous, and there were challenges all of the time and this. And so you had to adapt. And that's what we're going to speak on today, guys, because we all have different stages. We're all different people. We have different lives. However, we are all similar in the sense that every stage that is presented to us works to our benefit if we see it that way. So, let's say that you currently, okay, let's go chronologically. Okay, let's say you're 18 years old and you're in a stage where you're lost, you're in the social media phase, and that's all people do, that's all people talk about, that's all people want to be a part of. That's just life at that age, and the people around you do the same things. Okay, so if that's the stage you're in, to adapt to this one, you have two options. You can fully become embodied into this full influencer role and want to make everything in your life about social media and start recording your family when you guys are together and when you have intimate conversations, to be this social media guy or girl. The thing is, down the line, you're going to regret that choice. Or you understand, okay, I don't fully know what it is that I want to do right now. I don't fully know, but I have some semblance of what I like to do and what I'm good at, somewhat. Okay, and so dedicate yourself to that craft. Become as good as you can in that craft. Because even if the craft that you chose didn't end up being the right craft, you cannot replace the discipline, the willpower, the lessons that you garnered from doing that journey. Because the journey is what gives you strength. It's not some achievement. It's not being with some partner. It's the journey. It gives you the lessons. Your suffering gives you the lessons. Your suffering is what gives you the strength. So that's the choice. And when you're in that, okay, let's say you're going to be a computer engineer. Okay. So every single thing that you do in your life, and I mean everything, even the way that you take a shower, needs to be framed in the lens of helping you become a better computer engineer. Everything. Okay, so for example, you're taking a shower. So make sure that you have the time done on your phone every time. Okay, 3 minutes. And then you're like, okay, now that I'm doing this discipline and it's 3 minutes long, when I'm doing my work as an engineer, I know exactly the amount of time needed to do a task. I know how it feels to do a task in this time. Let's say you have a deadline now. Now all of a sudden, your body is adept to the deadline. It's not something that you have to go out of your way to build the muscle of working under a deadline. No, you already know because you built it in the shower. And there's a numerous amount of examples and things that we could use here. It's just develop the time and choose the time to build the skill, because skills are what sells, are what pay, are what will ultimately provide for your family. So those are my 18 to really 21-year-olds. In that gap, that's what you're gonna do. Okay. And then after that, let's go to mid-20s, 24 to 27. Okay. So if you chose the path that at 18 you decided to build skills, well, okay, let's say at this point you have a pretty good and pretty polished skill. So now you have two choices. You can say, oh, okay, I'm good enough, and you can go and engage in the party life that you didn't at that age. You can choose now if you want. It's like a ride. Life is like a ride, so you can get off when you want to get off. The thing is, if you get off now and start partying, the skill was developed, but it wasn't developed enough to the point where you're set for life completely. You'll be set for a period of time, but not for life. So if you get off the ride now, well, yeah, you'll have some years of being good and being stable and everything, but in the end, you'll have to do the process again. So what I recommend at this stage of life, and based on my own experience, because everything that I speak on, guys, is either things that I've learned directly or that I've lived myself. And so what you want to do here is you want to start working with the skill that you've got at this age. Okay, if my skill, let's go with the computer engineer. Okay, at this age, most likely, okay, you're graduated from school, you have, let's say, a job in engineering. And so at this point, you start developing, okay, how can I develop more skills so that in comparison to my peers, I stand out far and above? I'm the one that gets the highest contracts to work with these companies or whatever it may be. And then you start to work, okay, the engineer, everyone works, everyone does math, everyone does these things. Okay, so what's my differentiator? Well, let's say maybe engineers typically aren't the most social. Okay, so I don't need to be the most sociable person in the world, but me being social can aid in my likability with the people around me, and due to that likability, people work with people that they like. So when a project is being built, they're gonna subconsciously think about giving the project to someone that they like. And if I'm that person, well, I'm getting ahead of my peers and my competition. So something that you can do, for example, is, especially at this young age, you can speak to a stranger. Just speak to one stranger every day. Say hello, hi, or say, you know, just compliment something. Hey, I really like your shirt or your jacket, for example. Man, that's a nice shirt. Man, those are nice shoes. Something like that. Or with the lady, that's a really nice bag, you know, and be aware, of course, that you're building the muscle, but also say something that you genuinely feel and mean. Because it's doing two goods with one action. So on top of you complimenting the person, you're also building the muscle. But if it's a fake compliment, then it's kind of like, well, it's just for your means. And the other way is kind of building a stronger world and community, because we're all part of that. Okay, so between 24 and 27, you're just doing things to aid in the primary skill that you have. So in this case, the primary skill is being a computer engineer. So secondary skills, as we said, are being sociable. And that is complimenting the people that you may see. Just do it once a day. You can do it every day a week, 6 days a week, or you can do it 3 times, whatever's gonna work for you. And you want to do this for really 2 years, at least. To really have it to be a muscle that you're not even consciously thinking about. It's just operating. And then you're in positions that you weren't even consciously going out of your way to seek out. They're just presented to you. Okay, so you want to do that. And also you want to develop another skill, because, okay, if we're all engineers and we're all working this way, logically with math, and you've already developed the skill of being sociable, great skill. And ultimately there may be other people who are social too. Just, let's say you're more, right? So after that, you want to develop one more skill, and you can choose your area. Okay, maybe they go kind of hand in hand. Maybe you want to do something that's similar, right? From how I see it, maybe you want to get into graphic design, or something that's some side gig. Maybe you want to edit videos for someone. So you start working on the skill. And don't be crazed and don't start doing 5 hours a day of that skill, because ultimately that will take away from your primary skill. Primary always remains primary. So what you're gonna do is, okay, every day I'm gonna give 15 minutes to learning how to edit. And so you do that for a year, and you're gonna be a pretty good editor. And just having that side job is going to give you so many opportunities, because ultimately if you get with the right person, they are going to provide you with the opportunity to even work on bigger projects that can even supersede your primary job. And that's what you get from having the side skills that you develop early on. Okay, so that's 24 to 27. Okay, and the next one is 28, between 28 and early 30s, guys. I can't go past there because I haven't gotten to those ages. And I really want to encompass it with my experience as well. So 28 to young 30s, brothers and sisters. Here is when you've done the work, depending on what you've done, right? If you've done those other stages in that way, then now you can kind of like enjoy more. You can enjoy it. Enjoy the present moment, enjoy the work, enjoy the position that you're in because you've done the work to be able to do so. Or you did the other side in both stages, and so now you're just starting to work. And hey, let's say just by age and things and being around and in the party scene and this, you've attracted a partner that did similar things. So now you both are here and you both have a lot of work to do. The relationship, obviously, maybe you guys are sleeping together and making love, but this isn't a relationship truly conducive to your both best interest. Anyway, I digress. So now with that, you have a relationship and maybe potentially kids are coming. So now, and this is this example, now with that being the case, you have to go out of your way to develop these skills that these people already did a decade younger than you while you have kids and a serious partner. So, I mean, the difficulty has increased, I don't know, 100 times per se. And I don't want anyone to believe that you can't do it. You can, because we all have different stages in our life and a different life. It's just obviously be aware that it will be more difficult if you wait to do the stages in the incorrect order, in my opinion. So, and yeah, if you do that, of course you can do it. It's just going to be exponentially more difficult and your ceiling is lower than someone who did the stages in the opposite way. Okay. So now back to the person who did those stages in the way that I laid out earlier in order to get to, obviously, their dream life, success. So now at this age, 28 to low 30s, I mean, your skills kind of speak for themselves. You have an amazing primary job, computer engineer. Let's say just that primary job is making 6 figures just on that. I mean, you're on the side an editor, and you're working with really big clients because you've developed a great skill. And I mean, so let's say just from that, right? Just from all of these things, and also you're supremely social, so you're very well liked in your organization and you're the one that gets the heads up on the biggest projects and other big engineering companies and firms are trying to sign you. And I mean, you're doing supremely well financially. You're not worried about it at all. You're actually at the stage now where you're like, man, what am I doing with this money? What am I going to do with it? So from there, now you have a choice. Okay, I mean, at this stage, brother and sister, you can go and say, hey, I'm going to focus on the dating aspect, on having a partner at this time of my life. You can go that route, which is fine. Or you can say, man, I'm going to take a little moment to just enjoy life and be present. And yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it comes down to the person at the end of the day. Because the idea of life isn't to work until I'm 60 and just dedicate my life to just making money. It's an exceptional tool, do not get me wrong. I don't want to undervalue that and the importance of making money. It's just ultimately you want to have more of a balanced life. So to get a balanced life, you need to be in balance in certain periods. However, the goal is to be able to have also happiness and be content. So now, with all of those things being said, now it's up to you. What do you choose to do? Would you like to just kind of sit in the grass and enjoy, kick your feet up? Or, I mean, would you like to date and find a partner if she's not there in your life? I mean, you have the choice, friend. So, I mean, at the end of the day, everything works that way. you have two people. The one person sacrifices the short term for the long term gain. So their short term is going to look bleak in comparison to the other person. And you have the other person who sacrifices their long term for their short term. So their short term looks amazing. However, the long term, which is going to be the larger period of their life, gets sacrificed. So who ends up winning in this? And that's all it is, guys. So whatever stage that you're in, understand that it's happening for a reason. It's giving you a lesson. And whether you be in a hospital right now, whether you are an athlete, whether you are in a financial crisis, know that the experience that is being presented to you is only there as a lesson for you to build the skills necessary for the future life and the dream life that you have. You cannot be this amazing and strong person if you do not have amazingly difficult and strengthening things that make you into that person. So just be aware of that. Know that you are on the right path. And yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, okay? And guys, I'd like to ask if you got any value from this at all. Genuinely, I would appreciate a subscription and for you to subscribe to the channel, guys. So just know that you're next and it's your time. Love.